Welcome back to the channel, everyone. We've got some exciting developments straight from Frisco, Texas, as the Dallas Cowboys kicked off the first open media session of Organized Team Activities, OTAs. These voluntary workouts mark the official start of Phase 3 of the off-season program, and while there's still a long road ahead until training camp, there's no shortage of intriguing storylines, injury updates, player insights, and early chemistry developments that are already shaping the buzz around the team. So buckle in as we break it all down, everything from key injuries to quarterback Dak Prescott's status, Micah Parsons' OTA participation, the emergence of new talent like George Pickens, and the leadership energy flowing from head coach Brian Schottenheimer. This is the kind of behind-the-scenes detail that Cowboys fans live for, and we're bringing it all to you right here. Let's start with the injury front because, as any veteran NFL follower knows, how a team manages health in the offseason can have massive implications when the games start counting. First up is linebacker DeMarvion Overshown. The former Texas standout is still recovering from the torn ACL that ended his rookie season before it ever really began. While he's not yet fully integrated into team drills, there's a silver lining: he's out on the field working with the rehab group. That might sound minor, but in NFL rehab timelines, that's a strong sign of progress. The expectation remains that Overshown won't be a full go until sometime around November, but seeing him active and engaged is certainly encouraging for the coaching staff and fans alike. Another name to monitor is safety Donovan Wilson. This one caught some by surprise, as Wilson was recently spotted working with the rehab group as well. While it's unclear exactly what he's recovering from, speculation suggests he may have undergone a cleanup procedure possibly involving the shoulder or knee after nagging injuries lingered late into last season. Given how physical Wilson plays, especially near the line of scrimmage, the team is likely just erring on the side of caution. As of now, there's no reason to sound the alarm, but his status is definitely worth watching as we inch closer to training camp. Also joining the rehab group is defensive end Sam Williams, who is working his way back from an ACL tear. Williams' injury has flown under the radar a bit, but it's part of the broader picture of how much depth the Cowboys will need at the edge position going into the fall. Tight end Princeton Fant also made headlines when he exited OTA practice early. While not necessarily a game-changing development, it's another example of how fluid rosters and health statuses are this time of year. Each snap counts, and every rep matters, especially for fringe roster guys trying to earn a spot. Switching gears now to the most important position on the field, quarterback. The good news here? Dak Prescott looked sharp, active, and very much like the leader of the Dallas Cowboys offense. While it's still early and contact isn't permitted in OTAs, Prescott's presence on the field is more than symbolic. According to Nick Harris of the Star-Telegram, Dak flashed his mobility on several occasions and took more reps than expected, suggesting a high level of confidence in his health and conditioning. He's not cleared for contact yet, but that's standard protocol in May. If there were a real game tomorrow, he'd be ready. But the Cowboys are wisely taking a cautious approach. There's simply no reason to rush a veteran quarterback into unnecessary reps this early in the calendar. Offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer had high praise for Prescott, noting that he's progressing smoothly and looks great in team sessions. For those worried about an 8-month recovery window that had circulated in some media circles, you can put those concerns to rest. That timeline was never accurate. The team is simply managing Dak with care, and all signs point to him being at full strength well before training camp. Prescott also dominated the reps with the first-team offense, which isn't shocking but is still notable. Schottenheimer urged fans not to read too deeply into the early May lineups. This is all part of a process that will evolve dramatically before preseason kicks off. Still, the fact that Dak is leading the ones, throwing comfortably, and moving fluidly is a very welcome sign for anyone who understands how crucial quarterback health is to any playoff hopes. Now let's talk about one of the most electric players in football, Micah Parsons. The dominant edge rusher was notably absent from the on-field portion of Monday's practice. While some fans and media were quick to sound the alarm, Schottenheimer and others within the Cowboys organization have made it clear that this is no cause for concern. Parsons has been participating in various ways throughout the off-season program, especially during earlier phases that focused on strength, conditioning, and team-building activities. The reality is that he's been in and out of workouts during this voluntary period, which is totally normal for established veterans. It's also worth noting that while practice was underway, Parsons was actively tweeting, which subtly tipped off reporters that he wasn't physically present at that moment. Still, Parsons has maintained his off-season tradition of training with elite peers like Myles Garrett. This has been part of his routine for years, and it's worked well for him. The Cowboys coaching staff, including Schottenheimer, has backed Parsons at every step, emphasizing his growth as a leader within the locker room. According to Schottenheimer, Parsons was present for early team-building sessions and even joined the head coach for lunch this past Monday. While he's not always suited up for practice, he is actively involved in meetings, leadership discussions, and film study. This paints the picture of a player who understands his role and the expectations tied to his impending mega contract extension. Schottenheimer even highlighted how important it was to have Micah present during those initial days, calling it a strong statement about his commitment to the culture they're trying to build. Looking ahead to mandatory minicamp, it'll be interesting to see how involved Parsons is on the field. Many believe he'll adopt a modified hold-in approach where he's present in the building, taking part in meetings and team functions, but minimizing physical activity to manage his body and contract status. That's becoming increasingly common around the league and is seen as a sign of a smart veteran player protecting both his health and negotiating leverage. And now, let's shine a spotlight on one of the newest and most intriguing additions to the Cowboys offense, wide receiver George Pickens. The former Steelers wideout is already generating buzz, and for good reason. He's temporarily been assigned jersey number 13 during practice, a procedural move until his official number is finalized, but his impact is already being felt. CeeDee Lamb, the unquestioned W-Roan, recently made a powerful statement that speaks volumes about team chemistry. When asked about his dynamic with Pickens, Lamb simply said, "We're both ones. No hierarchy, no egos, just two talented receivers ready to dominate." That kind of mutual respect and team-first mentality is exactly what fans want to hear, especially given how crucial chemistry is in the receiver room. Schottenheimer echoed that enthusiasm, calling his early interactions with Pickens incredible. He praised Pickens not just for his physical tools, but for his maturity, focus in meetings, and work ethic. According to Schottenheimer, Pickens is already taking great notes, absorbing the playbook, and displaying a high level of intentionality that's rare for players this early into a new team. While he admitted that Pickens is a bit behind in terms of mastering the playbook, he's quickly catching up and showing all the signs of someone ready to make a major contribution. It's important to understand where Pickens stands right now. This is the honeymoon phase of OTAs. There's not much full contact football being played, so coaches are mostly evaluating preparation, attitude, and mental engagement. In that context, Pickens is passing every test with flying colors. Anything less than positive reviews this early would actually be a red flag, so the fact that Pickens is impressing across the board is very encouraging. The connection between Pickens and Lamb could be one of the most exciting storylines of this offseason. Last season's adversity, including Prescott's injuries and offensive inconsistency, forced younger players like Lamb and Micah Parsons into larger leadership roles. That experience is now paying dividends, with Lamb seemingly embracing a mentor role for Pickens. If these two can build early chemistry, they could form one of the most explosive receiver duos in the NFC. Before we wrap things up, it's worth giving some additional credit to Brian Schottenheimer, who continues to win over both the locker room and the media. His press conferences are upbeat, insightful, and filled with purpose. He's not just coaching football, he's building a culture. That culture emphasizes competition, accountability, and shared leadership. Whether it's handling questions about Pickens, managing Prescott's reps, or speaking on Parsons' involvement, Schottenheimer's tone has been consistently steady and optimistic. One moment that really stood out came when Schottenheimer was asked about how Dak Prescott fits into the leadership picture with all these moving parts. His response was simple but impactful: yes, Dak is a tremendous leader, but leadership should never rest on one man's shoulders. It has to be collective. That's exactly what Cowboys fans want to hear. It's about building a team that leads together, grows together, and eventually wins together. So as the Cowboys navigate through OTAs, keep your eyes on these developing storylines. From Dak's steady return to full form, Micah's nuanced involvement, and Pickens' strong first impressions, to the overarching culture being shaped by Schottenheimer, this team is laying the groundwork for what they hope will be a championship season. Thanks for sticking with us all the way through. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Cowboys OTAs, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a Cowboys update. Let us know in the comments, how many games do you think Dak Prescott will play this year? And will Micah Parsons be a full participant come mandatory minicamp? Sound off below, and we'll see you in the next video.